My name is Tim Luxinger, and this is a presentation on distance learning in the urban setting. So this presentation is going to show you how we can make distance learning work in the urban school setting. Will it be difficult? Of course. But can we do it? Yes, we can. And this is how. So just a quick little background on distance learning. When I think of distance learning, when I sat down to start to do this presentation, the very first thing that came to my head were adults, college students, career changers, someone who's in a career right now wanting to do something else, um, and find a different path that they might enjoy a little more than what they're doing at the current time, and also professionals using computer for professional development, such as GoToMeeting is a huge site that they use to do board meetings. So I guess that would be kind of distance learning ish. But that's what I thought of when I thought of distance learning. This video right here is just a quick video about what distance learning is, how it's used, and what where it's going, how people use it. They really get into the thick of talking about how distance learning works, and the fact that it's time. You have your own time. You don't have to go to class. Uh, you can do assignments when you want to, which is somewhat true for most distance learning in the upper levels or the higher education. But when it comes to middle school setting, we're going to have more of a structure involved. So that's not totally true. But so due to time constraints, I can't show you this. I will show you. I will email you the Prezi, and if you want to watch that video, you're more than welcome to. So there are some major hurdles in distance learning in the middle school setting. The very first one would be the teachers. Are they all on board? Are they all properly trained? What is the cost to train them if we're going to train them? Will they be okay with changing their teaching styles? All these questions can be very frustrating for a teacher who has been in it for 20 years or 15, 10 years even, and they're used to a certain type of teaching. And that type of teaching might have worked in the past, but moving in with the times, they have to be able to adjust their teaching styles to their students now, who are more digitally advanced. So they should get on board, and I'm going to tell in a future slide, I'm going to show you how we're going to get them on board. Again, properly trained. These are all issues we're going to talk about in a second. For the students, will they be okay with a different type of learning? They've been learning the same way since they were 5 years old in kindergarten. Um, how is that going to work out to where we're going to be able to change that type of mold? So we also have to reteach them to use their time in a different way, more effectively, more efficiently. Um, Distance learning is an efficiency type, and it's a time management issue with most people, me including. I struggle with time management at times during my education with using distance learning. Reteaching them that technology can be used for education, not just games and social media. It's not all about Instagram and Twitter. It's we can use them as clickers in the classroom. We can use them as calculators. We can use them for educational games, but it's not just all about those things and what those our students are thinking about. So how do we get over these hurdles with the teachers? It's important that we train them, on distance learning. What is distance learning? How can we implement it in the schools, in our classroom? How to show them how to present materials online. Show them uh, what their online learning module should look like, what a video should look like that we want them to present to the students to show them a topic of what we're teaching. Um, and give them different types of medias that fit their needs, to be effective in the classroom. I think it's important that the administration, is on board with this process, because if you're not on board, the teachers are gonna see that, and they're gonna understand that it's not something that they think they should do because the administration's not on board as well. And then really the most important thing is showing data that distance learning works. Set up a module or a couple classrooms that have distance learning. Show them what they were learning at, what rate they were learning at before, and then after the distance learning module, and show them the benefit of how this is going to work, and show them that it works in our school, not some suburban community. It's going to work in our urban district. It's going to work in our urban setting, and we have to work out all the kinks before we deliver it to the masses. For our students, obviously changing the routines of all our students. Like I said before, they have been learning a certain way since they were 5 years old. So how are we going to get a 12-year-old, 13-year-old to buy into this concept? And one of the processes on the bottom bullet is, games. We're going to use gamification. We're going to play games to get them learning at a higher rate, and not even a higher rate, just to be more effective learners, to make learning fun and help them change the learning process, and understand that this is the way learning is going. There will be more real life applications. Our students have to understand that this is the way learning is going for the rest of their lives. Maybe not high school, but college is definitely going that way. Teachers want to teach online. They want to have a hybrid class. They don't want to always be in the classroom. They want to work some days in the classroom, some days online. So we're not doing our students we're doing our students a disservice if we think that all colleges now are sitting in a classroom and sitting behind and at a desk and a person lecturing. So we have to prepare them for that type of learning as well. And it starts in the middle school. So the important question we have to ask ourselves is, can we do it? And we can. We can do this. This is something that's very doable in our school setting. So what I had here is I have a couple of videos. This video is, when you get the Prezi, just take a look at it. It just shows how a group from New York City hooked up with a group from Kenya, and they are trying to save a rhino in Africa from being extinct. They're writing. They write songs. They're writing to their governments. They are learning, obviously, about the rhino and what entails its extinction and why it's becoming extinct. So this encompasses so many different subjects. It encompasses music. It encompasses writing. It encompasses reading. It encompasses social studies. Understanding the government. Who am I going to write this to? They made a song up about the rhino, so it brings in music. So it's a really, really powerful video. I have another video for you. It just, again, kind of shows us that distance learning can really bring us to places that they might never be able to go, such as Kenya, such as a prairie, or that we don't have in an urban setting. They can bring us to a jungle where, again, we clearly don't have one in our town or our city. So it's some place, this distance learning can bring us places that we might not be able ever to go. And then this video is just the future of distance learning. Where is distance learning going? Is distance, in colleges and high schools, the push is to go to some sort of distance learning setting. So again, we are doing our students a disservice if we are not getting them into this distance learning piece. Digital immigrants, I just wanted to touch base on and talk about real quick, because all of our students are going to be digital immigrants. They are going to be new learners to the distance learning community. They are not going to know the first thing about distance learning, so we have to change that mold, like we talked about before, of how they learn and what they're doing. The great thing about our students is that they are going to be adaptable to this environment because they are so tech savvy. Most of them are so tech savvy that they will pick it up very quickly. It's got to it's going to turn into the technical aspect is not going to be the issue. The issue is going to be the time management, and that's something we're going to have to be very aware of, that our students need. We need to help our students as much as possible with the that piece of that. So, real quickly, I wanted to just talk about how we're going to do this. And I talked a little bit before about gamification of distance learning. I use these buzz sites, BuzzMath, MagnaHigh, and SymphonyMath.com. Um, these sites are really pretty neat. The BuzzMath is just it's a professor, and he brings you back into time. So again, this BuzzMath is going to bring in not only math, but it's going to bring in some history. They talk about going back into the the 17th century, the 18th century, and finding some things. So it's a really great website. It's also Common Core based, so they have all the Common Core state standards for math for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. MagnaHigh is a competition website where you're competing against other schools to win the week, and you have to get points, and whoever gets the most points wins that week. It's good because it allows them to have a little competition as well within the and still keeping it math related. So it's really great. So in conclusion, can we make this happen? What do we need to make this happen? I think I've discussed enough to the point where um, we know we can make it happen, and it's just a matter of getting behind it and getting just following through and getting everyone on board. So can we do it? Yes, we can. I thank you for your time, and I hope you'll consider what we have to offer.